if you can't let someone go, maybe they're supposed to be there. In this video, we're going to talk about why it might be that this person is still in your head, even if logically you feel like, why are you here? I understand that you're wrong for me. I understand this huge list of reasons why it doesn't work, but yet you're still here. So there's something that they are meant to be there for, right? I'm such a huge believer that if somebody is in our head, then there's something that's left to play out for us to be able to learn, acknowledge. Something needs to happen. A shift is still yet to happen before you release the attachment to this person. And the answer is not in your head, honestly. The answer, the figuring it out bit, it just leads you round in circles over and over and over again. If you were able to think of the reason, you would have thought of it by now. If you were able to find the logic and understanding and that be the answer to releasing, to feeling better, you would have done it because you've been thinking so much. And sometimes asking our own mind is just a recipe for just cycles and spirals going over and over and over again, which is why being in community and having support is so beneficial and so helpful, to be able to see mirrors, to show you different perspectives of the situation, to ask you questions that you have not asked yourself. This is why I've created Breakthrough 2025 for people who've been stuck, going around in circles, knowing the logic, not being able to do anything about it. There's a blind spot that's keeping you stuck, that with the right questions, you can find a lot of the uncertainty. I know that sounds strange, but when we're asked the right questions, we can find a lot of the answers that we've been searching for in our own minds, right? So if you've been stuck and you want to do something different, you've tried so many things before, this is a different thing. It's a group thing. Community is everything. I swear it's the most powerful healing that there is. Because there's connection, support, friendship. It's amazing. If you want to join, I've got a couple of spaces left. You can find out all the information in the link below, and I'd love to see you there. Okay, so when someone's still in your head, like I say, I just believe people are meant to be where they're meant to be. And if they're in your head right now, there's a reason, there's a lesson, even if you think logically that you've learnt it, that you have not actually learned. You've not been able to embody. You've not been able to let that properly sink into your nervous system. So sometimes people stay in our heads because there's still something left to play out, so that we get the message, the lesson, the understanding, so that it actually penetrates our nervous system and we can really experience it. The other thing is that very often people are stuck in your heads because in your head, people are stuck in your head because someone might be there because you are thinking about it and not feeling it, right? If you can't let someone go, you're probably yet to experience the real visceral feeling of whatever it is that this situation has presented, whether it's disappointment, loss, grief, betrayal. When we logic our way out of it, try and understand it, spend hours on YouTube trying to figure them out, trying to understand them, all we're doing is numbing ourselves to the experience that we need to have in order for us to create different decisions and for us to be able to move forward. Honestly, one of the most pivotal moments that I had in my own life and in a relationship that I was in was when something happened. It was such a trivial thing, but it really signified to me that this person wasn't thinking about me, didn't care, didn't want to support me in the way that I felt was appropriate for a loving relationship, right? And I remember having this moment where I was so disappointed. I took myself into the bathroom and I let myself feel the enormity of that disappointment, and I cried and I cried and I cried. I literally had to take myself out of the house, go in the car, allow myself to feel it some more, cry, ring my friend, who's such a safe friend, who let me just cry down the phone. And I properly experienced the enormity of the disappointment, right? And that moment changed everything. It meant that I was able to set a boundary that I really meant, that wasn't really me trying to control them. It was really me saying, no, no more. I'm not doing that. If we can't get someone out of your head, the likely thing is you haven't experienced the feeling that you're trying to avoid. So this is one of the things, right? There are other things that are at play in that there might be blind spots and realizations that you can have, that you can see and that you can have, that help you to see why you've been attached to somebody for so long. The other thing to remember is that I really want to shine a light on this part of you that really wanted to love this person. You really wanted to be able to love this person. It felt good to be able to love this person. And what feels difficult to let go of is that energy and that person that you could be, the identity that you created with this person that felt good to you, that felt right, that felt aligned. You loving lightness in your wholeness were able to love in a way that felt good to you. But when somebody on the other end of that is not showing up in a safe, consistent way, our nervous system will say, no, you can't do this. So there's one part of you that's saying, no, please don't do this. It's not safe. This person doesn't feel emotionally safe for you. There's a threat here. And another part of you saying, but I want to love this person. I like it. I like loving this person. And so there's two things like conflict, and there's like a battle between two very valid parts of you, right? But I think being able to acknowledge that part of you that actually really wanted to love this person can really help you to let go, to sort of actually step into and embody that part of you and say to yourself, you know what, I really did really want to love this person, and that's okay. But I can equally see that my nervous system is very cleverly trying to protect me from something that is not safe, that doesn't align with the person that I want to be. So you've learned something about yourself. There's a part of you that's deeply loving, has an enormous capacity to love. And then there's also a very clever part of you that is warning you against something that doesn't feel aligned. And maybe that is also in relation to the experiences that you had in your childhood. But either way, being able to sit with and be with both parts is going to help you to let go of some of the constant rumination, right? The feeling is the thing that you need to do, because when you're not feeling, you're thinking. And whenever you've got a feeling in your body that you're not allowing yourself to process, you go up into your head to try and avoid it, and they end up staying there, like they're stuck there. So yeah, I just thought I'd do this short video to highlight some of the reasons why someone might be stuck in your head. It may be that there's something left to play out, like I say. I felt like that for a long time. Like I just simply hadn't got to the end of it. The thing is that when you've got to the end of it, you just really know. It's very different. There was one ex that I had years ago, and he wasn't actually. He was boyfriend for a time, a short time, when I was a lot younger, and I couldn't let go of him because I thought he was amazing, and he was such a hot piece of ass, and I thought he was amazing. Still think he's amazing, but I literally lingered in this fantasy world about him for years and years and years and years. And I wanted it to be something that it wasn't. And I wanted him to be something that he wasn't. I had no idea about my needs or my values or relationships then. And no idea how to love myself. And there was this time where it had gone on for years. There was this time where I remember going to an event that he'd asked me to go to. So I felt really special. And at this event, he ran off. I saw him run off holding hands with another girl because he hadn't invited me as a romantic person. He'd invited me as a friend, and I'd completely misjudged the whole situation. And I remember being so disappointed and looking at this situation going, oh my God, he's never going to change. He doesn't want to be with me. And that's the end. And I remember that being such a pivotal moment because I felt it massively. I let myself be in the experience of it. And then another time where I had an eye surgery because I've got keratoconus, and I had to get this eye surgery done. And he lived nearby to the hospital that I went to in London, and he came to walk me back to the hospital in the morning when I couldn't see anything. And he just acted like he didn't want to be there. And honestly, I remember feeling so disappointed, and I thought, no. Like this is wrong. This is not right. I can't have this. I can't keep chasing this. I can't keep emotionally chasing this. And because I felt the disappointment of it, after that, The end. I let it go. I completely let it go. I realised that story had come to an end. But it wasn't until I let myself experience the disappointment that I actually allowed it to happen. And this doesn't mean sitting and wallowing in it, but it means allowing yourself to not sit in the periphery of it. So if you want some help with this, I've created a really safe space called Breakthrough 2025. There's only 8 spaces in the whole program, and there's only a couple left. So if you're thinking, okay, that sounds like something different that I could do, that I really want the support with, then send me a message, apply on the website, and we can get into a discovery call. I'd love to speak to you and hear your story. And if you want any more information about what I do, or if you'd like to join the Heartbreak Healers Club, you can find out all the information in the link below, and I'll see you in the next video.